The role of an antagonist is a hard one to play, especially in something like a dating manga. In something like Dragon Ball Z, you just say something like, oh, Frieza blew up a planet and killed an entire civilization, so he is the bad guy. However, in a dating manga, no matter how antagonistic a character may be, they won't be committing murder. Most of the time. So how does Rent a Girlfriend make an antagonist? Well, they make her a bad bitch.
Drop it.
Mami Nanami is the antagonist of Rent a Girlfriend. She broke up with the main character because she fell in love with someone else, leading the main character to discover the Rent a Girlfriend system, where he ends up falling in love with Chizuru, and then Mami finds out and tries everything she can to split them apart. Mami is painted as manipulative, self-obsessed, and just a jerk most of the time. But I think there is more to Mami than meets the eye. Mami is my favorite Rent a Girlfriend character. The way she steals every scene she's in is so entertaining. At first I simply liked her because she kept the story interesting, but as I paid attention to this character, I slowly realized that there might be more to this character than I first thought. Of course, as the antagonist of the story, she's made to look bad in every way possible. We usually don't get told how Mami is thinking or what she's feeling, we just get to see how she acts. So of course, as humans, we judge people off of what we see. However, we get a few short glimpses of what's inside of Mami's head, which I think really show what type of person she really is. First off, I think something that needs to be understood is that Mami really does care about Kazuya. I even take it as that she probably loves him, even if she doesn't realize it, or at least didn't realize it at first. When Kazuya asked Mami out on a date, she jumped the gun and went straight to dating. Soon after, she broke up with him, stating that she had fallen in love with somebody else. This gives out the impression that Mami is easy. It doesn't take much for her to fall in love, and it doesn't take much for her to fall out of love. However, funny thing is, you never see her with anybody else in the series. If anything, if anybody tries to make a move on her, she seems rather pissed off. Not only that, when her friends badmouth Kazuya and imply that she probably feels nothing for him as if she's some kind of player, she seems really pissed off. There's also this scene when she's in her room that she says to herself, why am I so fixated on this guy? So Mami clearly isn't over Kazuya. She clearly feels something for him, strong enough that she doesn't let any other girl get near him. Not only that, I think she's kind of protecting Kazuya from the Rent a Girlfriend system, a system in which a girl pretends to be your girlfriend, a system Kazuya himself hated at first. I think Mami and Kazuya are both on the same page when it comes to love. You should not pretend to love someone that you don't. So the question remains, if Mami feels so strongly about Kazuya, why did she break up with him? And in all my brainstorming, there's only one conclusion: she had to. The same scene that I mentioned earlier where Mami's in her room, her brother talks to her, mentions that there's a guy that she has to see. At this moment I realized that Mami was plotting some sort of fixed marriage. A lot of people had theorized this. That would explain why she would break up with Kazuya. She couldn't be with them even if she wanted to. At the same time, she has feelings for him, doesn't want anybody else to be with them. She doesn't want to lead others to a treasure she cannot have. So at any chance she gets, she foils any chance of Kazuya finding love. Is it selfish? Yes. But is it flat out evil? I don't think so. Sure, Mami can come off as cold, but she is a teenager and you never know what she might have been through. Maybe the reason she's always so cold is because she's been through really bad experiences herself. We are all products of the world that's around us, especially as teenagers. Being in a family that still believes in fixed marriages can affect somebody heavily, or at least I would imagine. Alright, now I'm going to get into Rent a Girlfriend manga spoilers, so if you're an anime only, you might not want to hear this, but if you're interested in Mami's character, I think this is very important. In Rent a Girlfriend's newest manga chapter, we learn about Mami's backstory. She fell in love with a guy, and he seemed to love her back too. However, of course, she had her arranged marriage, so her parents told her to break up with her boyfriend, and she refused. Father slapped her, however, she stood her ground. Not only that, I believe she might have been pregnant with the child of this guy she was dating. So this tells me that Mami falls in love quick. Real love though. Sure, it could have been just rebellion, right? She doesn't want to be controlled her whole life, so she wanted to date someone, and this was the guy to be it. Anyone that wasn't her fixed partner. In my opinion, that is something that you see a lot, really strict parents who create really rebellious children. However, when Mami goes and talks to the guy about what happened, he simply tells her, I'm sorry, but I've fallen in love with someone else. In her depression, apparently she might have had a miscarriage. I'm not sure if the pregnancy is supposed to be symbolistic or actually real, but the point stands. Mami was ready to give her heart and soul to this guy only for him to break up with her. She wanted someone who would do anything to save her from her current life, and she was betrayed. So now this is just me brainstorming. I believe Mami met Kazuya, who asked her out on a date. However, Mami wanting to get out of this fixed marriage, she went, okay, let's just go out, date. At first, sure, this was just a way to get away from the fixed marriage. She probably didn't feel much for Kazuya. He was simply a way for her to rebel against her parents. However, I think at one point she realized something, and that is that she was in love with Kazuya. And rather than make the big mistake of falling in love with someone only to get betrayed at the last second, she used the line that was used on her to break up with Kazuya instead. Break his heart before he can break yours. At this point, Mami doesn't believe in real love. It's like the guy she dated before Kazuya would say he would have done anything for her. However, once that love fell off, well, it all went away. So what's stopping it from happening again with Kazuya? In Mami's mind, nothing. Mami was waiting for Kazuya to turn on her. She might have genuinely cared for him, but it doesn't matter because in her mind he would have betrayed her. So now she's trying to confirm her theory by making Katsuya betray Shizuru. However, as much as Katsuya might be a creep, he does one thing properly, and that is stick around. Fights tooth and nail for what he loves. I truly believe Katsuya would have never betrayed Mami. I think Mami's starting to realize this. Mami was so abused by the monsters around her that she ended up becoming one herself. Now Mami is a flawed character, so if you want perfect waifu bait, she's never gonna do it for you. But to me, she is the most entertaining and relatable character in this series.